Should the UK have nuclear energy? Yes, I think we should. And on that question of whether it's clean, well, yes, it is very clean. If you look at life cycle carbon emissions, they're very, very low compared with energy sources such as gas and coal. And I think if you want to do low carbon energy at scale, you're going to have nuclear as part of that mix. It's not reliant on the wind blowing or the sun shining like wind and solar, and so it's a very important part of decarbonisation. Is nuclear an affordable energy source? Well, yes, we think it is. If you compare it to other low carbon energy sources, its overall costs are quite low, not quite as low as hydro, but certainly a lot lower than offshore wind. Costs have, however, been rising in recent years, and so there is a problem with financing new nuclear at the moment, but overall, levelised over a lifetime, nuclear's costs are very low. So is nuclear a safe form of energy? Well, yes, it is. I mean, you've got obviously the really high-profile incidents like Chernobyl and obviously more recently Fukushima. But if you look at the amount of energy that nuclear has generated and the number of people that have been killed or seriously injured as a result, it's actually very low. And so nuclear compares very well even with energy sources such as gas and extremely well compared with oil and coal. So how are IOD members responding to nuclear power? Well, actually, IOD members are very much in favour of building new nuclear power stations in the UK. We did a survey last year and also a survey 3 years ago, and in both surveys, nearly 85% of IOD members supported building new nuclear power stations, which is one of the strongest responses you'll ever get from IOD members. So what are the challenges to adopting nuclear technology and new nuclear in the UK? Well, I think the main one is that nuclear is quite expensive in terms of its capital costs, has a very long payback period. So it's expensive to build a nuclear power station, but then the electricity it generates is very cheap over 30, 40, 50 years. But you need a lot of upfront investment and an uncertain payback period. So the problem you've got is what price do you sell that nuclear energy into the market? So you've got this disagreement at the moment between the government and EDF over the strike price for nuclear. And that's actually quite significant, because if the EDF project at Hinkley Point in Somerset doesn't go ahead, then the next reactor, which is being developed by GE and Hitachi, has currently got to go through its safety assessment, which takes about 4 years. Then it would have to do a planning application, another 2 years. Then you'd have to build the plant, so that's another 4 or 5 years on top of that. So if EDF don't go ahead, you're not going to have any new nuclear until at least 2025. So I think there is a real risk to whether or not we get new nuclear at scale in the UK.
Should the UK have nuclear energy? The answer is no. Gas and coal are worse in terms of climate change and in terms of health than nuclear power, but nuclear power also has problems, particularly radioactive waste. The answer, of course, is renewable power. We can produce the power we need and decarbonise the country using renewable power. Even David Mackay, the chief scientist at the Department of Energy and Climate Change, has said we can deliver the energy we need with renewable power. Nuclear power has proven to be an extraordinary and expensive technology through the years. It's almost been a bottomless pit for money to be thrown into. What we need to do is, rather than putting money into nuclear power, we need to focus it into newer technologies like renewable energy, where there's great potential for innovation and driving down the future cost of energy. What we need to do is provide energy that is clean and doesn't leave problems for future generations. Nuclear power creates nuclear waste that lasts for thousands of years. We shouldn't be risking the well-being of future generations in that way if we can provide the energy we need now and the carbon cuts we need now in a clean and green way. We can do that, and that's why Friends of the Earth is backing renewable energy and energy saving as a strategy on the way forward.